welcome back to my channel. Here is part 2 of this video of my beginner's soft glam makeup look. This is the foundation and base side of things, so if you want to see how I've created the rest of this look, then just keep on watching. Okay, now for my base, once I've cleaned up everything and I've wiped my face off, I like to keep my sort of T-zone very matte. So my favourite primer for that at the moment is the Benefit Professional Matte Rescue Primer. This goes on like a gel and sets in a matte finish. So basically I just put like a pea-size amount on the back of my hand. This has not got much left in it. Yep, pea-size, but like about that much on the back of my hand. And I just go in with just like a small sort of concealer buffer brush. This is one's from Holy Grail. And then I just pop this all over my T-zone. So just kind of buff it into the nose area. Just because I find that that's where I get like the oiliest, I guess. I don't really get oily, but if I'm going on a night out and stuff, I want my skin to stay matte in these reasons. Cool. With the rest of my face, I like to have like a bit more of a glowy, dewy sort of finish. Not glowy, not dewy necessarily, but I just like to add a little bit more of like a glow to my face. So I like to take the MAC Strobe Cream. This one's in Peach Light. I also really love, which Mecca have obviously got Laura Mercier back now. So I like to use the Laura Mercier Radiance Primer as well. That one's really nice. I like these because they're kind of like a moisturizer at the same time as a primer and sort of like a nice glow to the face. So I just kind of like have like about that much amount on the back of my hand. I'm just using the Holy Grail blush brush. It's just a nice soft brush, really. Any brush will do. There's not really anything to be too precise about, but like, can you see like my skin's like so glowy that side and like not that side? So yeah, it just kind of gives a really nice glow. Obviously kind of just going in the areas where I didn't put that matte primer, because we don't want to just go over the matte primer with a dewy one. So now that my face is prepped, my T-zone is nice and matte. You can kind of see, it's weird, you see it like, not see, you kind of just see that it goes nice and matte and like you don't get the shininess to it, which is perfect. If you know me, you probably know that I love my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. So I'm taking the shade Light Beige today. I do have a little bit of tan left over from the weekend. So I'm just, yeah, taking the shade Light Beige. I might mix a little bit of Warm Beige into it as well, just to darken it up the slightest bit. But this foundation is one of my favorites. It's undetectable, medium to full coverage foundation and oil free. I've literally used this pretty much since I started makeup. Doing clients, and I've always loved this foundation. It always just sits nicely on everyone's skin. It looks really good. So this is one of my favorite foundations, and I always apply this with, this one's a bit dirty, sorry, I need to dampen it in a sec. I just apply this with the Dirty 30s sponge from Dirty 30s. And then I use the smaller Dirty 30s for the concealer under my eyes. Okay, so I'm going to be mixing like Light Beige with a tiny little bit of Warm Beige, kind of like that sort of ratio, and just mixing them together and then just applying that to my face with a brush, and then taking my sponge and blending it out. I like to use patting motions when applying the foundation, as I feel like that gives you the most flawless finish. I make sure I'm going down my neck and around my jawline as well, just so everything's nicely blended together. Around the eyebrows I kind of draw a line, but you just have to be extra careful and kind of use like the tip of the beauty blender, and you can get like a pretty decent line from it, I guess. Okay, so once I feel like that's nicely blended into the skin and pushed back, like kind of pushed into the skin, I'm going to take my concealer. So on clients I always use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Custard, which I love, but on myself normally I just use the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade 20 Sand if I'm tanned, and if I'm a little bit paler, I usually use, I think it's like the shade 10 Light or something like that. So I'm just going to be popping this under my eyes, kind of in a triangle sort of shape, like so. Oh, whoops, okay, apparently we're putting it there too. That's fine, we'll just blend that in. So I don't put the concealer right directly under my eyes, as I feel like, again, that's more, you're going to be more prone to creasing. So I'm just going to be blending it in with the Dirty 30s little sponge, but I'm just going to be pushing like some light product up into under my eyes, just so we're not getting the full amount of concealer there, as it will still do the same job as what it would do. It will still cover, but it just won't crease as much because there's not as much product there. Okay, so then to set underneath my eyes, I like to use the Laura Mercier translucent powder. Again, hallelujah that it's back in Australia, because that was a mission and a half to try and get it. It came back into Australia just after I paid £25, which is about $50 for shipping. So thank you so much for that. But that's fine. So I just like to take a small amount on my beauty blender. Again, I'm pushing this into the skin. I don't necessarily want to bake. I will leave the excess kind of on there, but I'm kind of just pushing this powder into the skin, so it's not like you can really see it. And there's not like a heap of powder on underneath my eyes. Also, depending on how long you've left like that under eye concealer before you've put some powder on it, if there is some creases, blend them out before you go to put the powder on, otherwise you're basically setting the creases into place. And then I'm just going to put some in my laugh lines as well for the same sort of reasons, because they're the places that I mainly crease. So again, blending that into the foundation. So I do with the crease, like with the laugh lines, I pretty much just blend them so you can't see them anymore. Now I like to take the Bobbi Brown foundation stick in the shade Cool Almond. You can pretty much just do this with any foundation if you just get a darker shade. Whoa. And basically I just like to get a stippling brush. You can also do this with like a foundation brush as well. And I just like to place this on my face where I'm going to contour, and around my forehead as well. I just feel like this kind of is a base for where you're going to contour. I don't know, I just feel like the finish of it looks really good, and I feel like it just gives you, yeah, like a more flawless finish to the look. So when I'm putting it in, I'm not really using when I'm blending it in, I'm not really using a heavy hand, just because I don't want to disturb the foundation underneath. And if you feel like you need to blend it in a little bit more, just get your beauty blender and kind of pat over the top of it. See? Cool. So now that I have done that, I'm going to be just taking some powder. You guys know the powder that I'm obsessed with, Australis Fresh and Flawless. This is just in the shade Darkest Brown. So I'm just going to be patting this onto my face, emphasizing the word patting. We are not swirling at all, are we, Julie Cromey? No, we are not. No swirling motions here, thank you very much. So yeah, just making sure everything's set into place with that. As you know, I am obsessed with the Hoola bronzer by Benefit, one of my favorites, and one of my favorite brushes at the moment for contour is the Holy Grail Cheek Definer. It's like an angled brush. As you can see, I've literally used it all the time. And again, just patting this in. Like so. Again, bronzer, one of my all-time favorites. MAC Give Me Sun. I actually have used this, oh, what's that, a bit of fluff. I've used this bronzer for the longest time, and I also just use it on one of the Real Techniques blush brushes. Again, I've used this brush for the longest time, and it's just one of the ones that's just stuck by me and I've just been obsessed with. So again, patching it into the skin. All powders that I use on my skin, I pat into my skin, just because I don't want to disturb the foundation, and I feel like that's how your base will go more patchy. One thing I've been obsessed with recently is blush. Okay, so my blush brush actually broke, so I just use this, sorry. But my favorite one for like a matte sort of finish is the MAC Warm Soul, which is just like this nice sort of peachy pinky color. Then my other favorite blush to add a bit of a glow is the Balm Hot Mama blush. Again, like a peachy pink, but this kind of just gives more of a glow. It's not really too pink when you put it on your cheeks. I also love the NYX Sugar Mama blush, which is actually really good as well. But I actually smashed that the other day, so I no longer am able to use that one. Okay, highlighter. My favorite at the moment is the MAC Oh Darling highlighter. This is honestly amazing. I kind of just swirl around in the pan and then I just lightly glide over my skin. Now this you can kind of use in more circular motions, but you're using a really light hand, so it's not going to disturb any of the foundation. I like to put some on the tip of my nose, just kind of like slightly in the center of my forehead, on my cupid's bow and cheekbones. Now I'm just going to look up and just wipe away, just like, obviously there's not really much excess, but if there is, just wipe away that excess powder. I think we're looking pretty good. So now I'm just going to go back, well obviously you would have already seen the first video, but I'm just going to go and finish off my eyes for the first video. Then I'm going to come back and do my lips and stuff like that, and show you all the products that I love to use for that. Okay, so I'm back with my eyes all done now. For lips, I'm going to be taking my MAC Strip Down Lip Liner, which is one of my favorites, and my Honey Love lipstick. I am obsessed with it, and just lining my outer lip line and then applying a lipstick as well. I like to just kind of do that, what I just did with my lips, just so the liner kind of blends in a little bit. If not, I'll push it in with my finger, like this, just so the liner isn't as harsh. One of my favorites at the moment that I do after every single application is, depending on the look that the client is going for, I will either go for a matte or a more glowy look. But the Laura Mercier translucent powder has actually brought out a glow setting powder. Now this powder is obviously loose again, it's exactly the same, just has a little bit more of a shine. So if the person's wanting a matte look, then I'll just use the normal translucent powder. But if the person's wanting a little bit more of a glow, I'll kind of just add just a little bit of this powder, just kind of around like the T-zone area, just to set every one down a little bit more on like the chin and around the forehead sort of area. If you're wanting a more glowy look, you can add this to like kind of just under the contour as well. It just gives a really nice glow to the face, and it also just blurs the skin as well. It's so nice. I'm obsessed with it. It's one of my new favorite products. I love it so much. That's my favorite lip combo at the moment. Then I'm just going to take my Kat Von D Lock-It Setting Mist. This is one of my favorites because the sprayer is so fine. If I run out of this, I normally just buy an Urban Decay and put the spray inside of this bottle because it's so good. I don't know if it actually does do anything, but I like it to just soak up any excess powders on my skin. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you out a lot. And I hope that you like the two different parts, so it's not too long to watch, I guess. If you did, then please like and subscribe. Leave any sort of video suggestions you have down below, whatever you want me to be doing on this channel, because sometimes I get a little bit stuck. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!